Hi guys, we're starting our practice today down on the ground. So you might like to join me in Caesar pose, down to your knees. If you need a block or a cushion, you can always use one of those. Otherwise, start to settle in to your seat. Allow your hands to rest comfortably on your legs. Take a breath in and a breath out. Another breath. Whenever you're ready, you might like to start to move your head and just find your shoulders, your neck. It's totally up to you right at the moment how much movement you make. I'd really like you to start to tap more into your feeling body. So if something's not feeling right for you through this practice today, then you don't have to do that. I will teach a few options. There won't be a lot of options. So we'll just see where you go with your practice. You might like to join me and interlock your hands around the back of your head and gently draw your chin down. Don't pull on your neck. Just allow the weight of your arms to drop your chin. And then again, you just find a gentle breath here. If you're still with me, you might move over to one side, extending one arm out and gently drawing your head over with the other arm to the opposite shoulder, and you should feel something perhaps through the top of the arm, maybe even through the bottom of the arm. And whenever you're ready, you can move to the other side. Again, just checking back into your breath while you move your head, your neck. And as you're ready, you can release this. You might like to tuck underneath your toes. Sit in toes pose with me, otherwise stay in Caesar, and we're going to join some arms in. So we'll interlock into eagle arms, Grudasana. It doesn't matter what side you go first. Focus your shoulders, pull your shoulders down from your ears, elbows at shoulder height. Maybe you'll press the hands or the palms away from your face as you breathe. Whenever you're ready, you can swap sides, moving to the opposite arm. If the palms don't reach together, no problem. Bring the back of the hands together, and again, elbows at shoulder height, and your scapular blades drawing back and down to cover your back ribs. A little bit more, you can push the palms away. Now, as you're ready, staying in toes pose, inhale, sweep your arms up. And then exhale, draw your hands down over your body. Inhale, sweep your arms up, maybe washing the energy down and back over your body. And on the third one, we'll release your toes and then inhale your arms up to the sky. Hands to prayer, drawing your hands to your heart center. It's here where we'll begin our practice by gathering the vibration Om once. Exhale. Inhale. Om. Slowly and mindfully, start to place your hands down. Knees back into tabletop, hands and knees. A nice straight long spine. We're going to start this little bit of movement through your spine. Vidalasana. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your eyes. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, drop your chin. Opposite way. Inhale to drop your belly, lift your bottom, shoulders pull back. Exhale to pull your abdomen in and tuck your tailbone. 3 more. Inhale, front heart, take it forward. And then on your exhale, draw your back hard up to the sky. Inhale, Your belly and abdomen lower, heart goes forward and your chin lifts. And then exhale to draw back underneath. Inhale one more, heart forward. Exhale to tuck back under. And then we'll come back to a neutral spine for side cat-cow. Come back to neutral in the middle. Use a breath in first and then an exhale to press your hip and your head over to one side. Inhale back to center. Use the exhale to carry you to the other side. Continue this, you'll have 2 more rounds, both sides. The inhale brings you back to neutral, and the exhale, as you squeeze the air out, you squeeze your ear over to your hip. Back to the center, and then on to the other side. Try 1 more round on your own. And then as you come back to neutral in the middle, take your time to tuck underneath your toes and scoop your bottom up to downward facing dog. We're moving slow at the beginning just to warm up. You might like to stay with me and bend the right knee and just hang into this side for a breath. Straightening the left leg and then gently swap to the other side. Bend the left leg, straighten the right and hang off to the other side. After this, we're going to find downward facing dog, and we're going to start to move through the upper body and lower body collectively in crouch asana. Start at the beginning and we'll build our way up. Inhale, come forward to high plank. Exhale, drop your knees, send your bottom back to your heels. Continue the exhalation and lift your bottom up to down dog. Continuous breath. Inhale, straight long line, high plank. Drop your knees, exhale, pull your bottom back to crouch asana, into downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to high plank, knees lifted or down as we've been doing. Exhale, pull your bottom back. You've got another 2 of these. If your knees are lifted, you'll notice this is much stronger than if your knees are down. Totally up to you on where you want to go. Maybe 1 more. Inhale to high plank. Exhale to pull yourself all the way back. Inhale, stay low. Use the ground and lift into either cobra or upward facing dog. Now tuck your toes and pull back to regular downward facing dog. Drop your heels, bottom to the sky. Take a big breath in, fill your lungs. And then as you breathe out, drop your heels, press your heart back. Slowly we're stepping to the hands. Step your toes all the way to your little fingers. Lower your bottom deep down into Malasana. Your heels might lift, or you might be able to work them down, maybe widen your feet a little. Notice your spine, keep it straight. Keeping your spine as straight as you have been, hands to mat, and lightly step back to downward facing dog. Now we're going to go the opposite way. Step your hands back to your feet. Just starting to balance out front of mat, back of mat, right and left sides. Now you can choose to hang in ragdoll, cross your arms and bow forward, or you might just like to let your arms drip down off of your shoulders. Totally up to you as a practitioner. Maybe you found your Ujjayi breath, or perhaps you can start to tune into that now. Your audible breath is going to be what carries you through your practice today. If your arms are bound, release them down. And use a breath in to roll up to standing. You might even bend your knees as you come all the way up and stand. Your feet are still under your hips at the moment. And you're standing nice and tall, maybe grounding down or rooting down through your feet. Hands are beside your hips. You'll notice you're still at the back of your mat. Stay there. We're going to move slowly and you'll see where you end up. Breath in and out. Our next inhale, sweep high, Urdhva Hastasana. Maybe look to your thumbs. Exhale, bow down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Maybe hold the back of your legs if it's available. Inhale, straight spine, half lift. You can bend your knees if you need to. And then very lightly step your hands to the front of your mat to meet me in downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Feet are still hip width distance. Press your heart back. And then very gently inhale to high plank. Exhale, Crouchasana, your variation of knees down or knees lifted. Breath in, right leg to the sky. Exhale, bend your knee, open up your right hip. Feel out the right hip flexor. Engage your lifted foot back to the sky. And then exhale to release your right foot back down. Left leg continues. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, bend and open. Foot's engaged, legs engaged. Inhale, take your leg back to the sky. Exhale, release your foot back down to your mat. Take a breath in, complete the breath out. Bend your knees and either step or float to your hands. Halfway lift. And then bow down on the breath out. Inhale, sweep high, Urdhva Hastasana, straight back, straight legs. Exhale, Samastitihi, hands through heart center as you stand to Tadasana. Inhale, we sweep back, high, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow forward and down, Uttanasana. Halfway lift. Inhale, look forward. Hands to your mat. Now you can step or float back, your choice. Your knees might lower down through your first Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, lower abdomen pulls in, downward facing dog. 3 slow breaths. Go through your mental checklist. You've got that time to check in. Check your upper body. Check your lower body. And then remember the bandhas, contracting your abdominal muscles in lightly. Breath in. Breath out. Bend your knees, look forward, and then lightly step or float to your hands. Half lift, breath in. Exhale, bow down. Sweep to stand. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. This time, exhale, continue the forward fold, Uttanasana. Your breath in, half lift, maybe transfer your weight forward to your hands and then float your feet back, or you can jump back or step high to low. Together we breathe in, lift your heart. You can stay in baby cobra or go to up dog. And then exhale, tuck your toes, pull back, downward facing dog. 3 sips of air again. Roll your armpits towards your ears. Spin your forearms and elbow creases inward towards one another and down. Breath. Sip of air in. Long emptying exhale. At the bottom of the exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and then lightly step or jump to your hands. Catch a breath in, half lift. Exhale, fold. Sweep up, Urdhva Hastasana. Third one, continue forward and down, Uttanasana. Breath in, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Your choice of your Chaturanga, high to low plank. The breath in will lift your heart to the back bend. And then your breath out will let you meet me in downward facing dog. Join me. Step the right foot forward. Virabhadrasana A. Inhale, arms to sky. Exhale lightly to your mat. Step back. Move through the vinyasa. Inhale through Urdhva Mukha. Exhale to pull back, Adho Mukha. Left foot steps forward lightly, Virabhadrasana A. Take your time. This is just a little warm up through your legs, your hips. Exhale, hands to mat. Continue the breath out through the high to low. Inhale, lift your heart for the back bend. And then exhale, tuck your toes, send your bottom downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Big breath, fill your lungs. Exhale, empty your lungs completely, bend your knees, look forward and then step or lightly jump to your hands. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, bow down. Sweep up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastitihi Tadasana. We continue to flow. Bend your knees, inhale Utkatasana. Hold here and breathe. Tuck your tail, squeeze your inner thighs, maybe look to your thumbs. Breath in. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Halfway lift and then move to Chaturanga Dandasana, however you get there. Inhale through the back bend, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, pull back, Adho Mukha. We continue to flow. Right foot steps forward. Warrior 1, breathe in. Exhale, pause, align the hips. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, transition to Warrior 2. Breathe in, pause, and then exhale, transition to Crescent Lunge. Lift the fingers up. Breath in, settle into the hips. Tuck your tailbone. And then as you're ready, we do a tricky transition to Revolve Triangle. Take your left hand to the inside or the outside of the right foot. Right arm to sky. If the hand doesn't make the ground, hand to shin. Straight back. Now, transition into balance. Revolve half moon. Take your time. Lift your left leg up, right arms up to the sky, and then maybe you can look up to your right thumb. Breath in, and then breath out. Release both hands down. Keep the left leg lifted, hip time. Take a sip of air, lift the heart straight back, and then exhale, rotate the left leg out to the side. Inhale, take the leg back up. And then lightly exhale, tap your foot back. Anjalayasana, Crescent Lunge. Breathe in, lift your arms up, settle back into your hips. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low plank. Any variation you want, knees can lower, remember. Inhale for the back bend. Exhale, we meet in downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward, Virabhadrasana A. Inhale, lift your fingers. Settle into your hips. Take a breath in again and then exhale, open to Warrior 2. Another breath. And then we transition to Anjalayasana, Crescent Lunge. Fingers to the sky, lift your back heel, tuck your tailbone. Transition to Revolve Triangle. Your left arms to the sky, shoulders are pulling back. Notice your hips. And then we transition, revolve, half moon. Left arms up, right legs up. Take your time to maybe look up to your top thumb. And then slowly both hands to mat. This is where we take the revolve in the hips. Breath in, lift the heart, extend the leg. And then exhale, rotate the leg out to the right. Inhale, take the leg back up. Lightly exhale, tap the foot back. Crescent Lunge. Breathe in to lift your fingers up. Breathe out to sink down, hands to mat. Step back, high to low. Breathe in, Urdhva Mukha. Breathe out, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Stay with me now. Check in, right foot steps forward, warrior one. This is all, fingers to the sky. Exhale, hands to mat, step back. Continue, you're going to do the left side on your own. Pay attention to how you feel now compared to the first warrior one. Left side on your own with breath. Just warrior one, Virabhadrasana A, then down through the chaturanga so that you can feel out where your hips are, where your body's at, maybe where your breath is. From down dog, take a breath in and out. Bend your knees, look forward, step or jump lightly to your hands. Half lift on the inhale. Exhale to fold forward. Utkatasana, chair pose. Inhale. And then exhale. Bring your hands to prayer at your heart. Prayer twist. Take a sip of air first. And then exhale, spin your left elbow over your right knee. Option 1, prayer. Option 2, open the wings. Option 3, you might want to go to Parsva side crow, just for 3 breaths. And then very lightly, anyone in Parsva lower your feet back down. We meet back in Utkatasana together, and then exhale, continue to the opposite side. Spin the right elbow over the left knee and choose whatever option you took on the last side. Do exactly the same on this side. So wherever the last side allowed you to go, go here and hold for the same amount of breath. Maybe one more sip of air in and out, and then lightly lower your feet down. Utkatasana, breath in. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Now heel toe your feet out to the edges of your mat, and we're going to sink back down into Malasana. So again, this is another check-in for you just to see how your hips are. You've been in Malasana already through practice, so now you can revisit it and see. You're welcome to stay here in Malasana. This could be where you feel like holding your space. Otherwise, you might like to join me and come up to Bakasana, crow pose. You might be just learning to fly your crow, so you can stay there and play with your crow however much you want. Maybe you're a little bit more advanced and you're going to headstand, or perhaps you can hold and pause for a number of breaths. You might like to try and straighten your elbows and move it more towards a crane position. And then you're going to jump back lightly, very slowly to the back of your mat and go through a vinyasa. Nice and light you go. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, we'll pull back, Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. It's time to recalibrate again. Step the right foot forward, Virabhadrasana A, pause. Exhale, hands to mat, Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low. Inhale for the back bend. Exhale, pull back, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward, continuous movement, warrior one. Exhale, hands to mat, vinyasa, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now something a little different. Right foot steps forward, crescent lunge, back heel lifts. Inhale, lift the fingers up. Exhale, open your hips, Virabhadrasana B, warrior two. Extended side angle, elbow to knee. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, right hand to right ankle, left arm up. Option 3 is the bind. Choose carefully because the next posture from here depends on what you're doing. If you're in the bind, you can straighten the front leg, be mindful of your hamstring, be mindful of that hamstring, and you can hang out here. If you didn't take the bind, then you can join me. I'm going to show you now. Straighten the front leg and then exhale, reach forward into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So those of you that are bound, you're just in the bound variation. Take a breath in. And then exhale, look forward and down. You're going to lightly go to balance again. Half moon, tap it forward, right hand under your right shoulder, lift your left arm and left leg up to the sky. You can look up, or if you really want to go for a bind with the top leg, if you know that, you can go there. Maybe you'll look up for the last challenge. Another breath in might even open your top hip. And then exhale, lightly tap back, Virabhadrasana B. Straighten your front leg, turn your toes in, Prasarita Padottanasana A. Use the exhale to forward fold. Now you can hang out in Prasarita A. If you tripod headstand, you're welcome to take tripod headstand here for a few breaths. Otherwise, stay in Prasarita A, heading down towards the earth while your tailbone's lifting up to the sky. If you're in tripod headstand, squeeze your elbows towards one another and your legs are active. Anyone in tripod, you're going to lightly control the lower down, and together we'll inhale, half lift, hands to hips, exhale, come up. Warrior two to the back of your mat, let's switch it up. And then inhale, flip and reverse your goddess. Exhale, windmill all the way down to your mat, step back and flow. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Same thing, left side. Step your left foot forward, crescent lunge. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, Virabhadrasana B. And then inhale and exhale to land in your variation of extended side angle. Choose whatever you did on the last side, because you know that the next posture, triangle pose or Trikonasana, depends on what it is that you chose on the last side. So if you're in the bind, you can maybe straighten the front leg. If you weren't, straighten the front leg and then exhale into Trikonasana. Breath in and out to turn and open your heart up. Look down and lightly step forward into half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. You do whatever you did on the last side. Bind, hold it, look up. Totally up to you as a practitioner. Take a breath in. Exhale, lightly tap your top foot back, warrior two. Straighten your front leg, hands back to hips, Prasarita in the middle. Inhale, look up, squeeze your elbows back. Exhale, forward fold. You can stay with your hands on your hips, or maybe you'll go to D and grab your big toes. Sip of air for a half lift always, and then your exhalation carries you forward and down. Drawing your head towards the earth and squeezing your shoulders up and back away from your ears. Maybe your elbows to the sky. Look forward with a breath in, straight back. Exhale, stand up. Virabhadrasana B, back to the front of your mat. Inhale, flip and reverse your goddess. Exhale, all the way down, lightly through the vinyasa, go lightly. Inhale, urdhva mukha. Exhale, pull back, Adho Mukha, down dog. Last time, step your right foot forward, warrior one, inhale. Exhale, hands to mat, step back. Next side on your own completely. Use this last flow just to check back in, recalibrate, notice where your body is compared to when you first began. A beautiful way to check in. Going through the final vinyasa now. Inhale your heart up. Exhale back to downward facing dog. We're heading towards back bends, so it's entirely up to you. If you've got your own back bend practice, you can go there. I'm going to show at the beginning just some beginner variations, but then I move into some advanced stuff. So you might stick with some beginner variations, maybe bridge or perhaps Ustrasana, where I am now in camel pose. But 5 back bends on your own. 3 to 5 breaths in each, depending on where you're at with your practice. If you're with me in Ustrasana, really work your hips forward over your knees and work squeezing your elbows in together. You can come down and rest whenever it feels right and then continue. So you can stay with what you just did, or maybe you want to take some more advanced variations. What I'm going to do here is just some more advanced things. So we're going to go into another Ustrasana if you're hanging with me. But this time, rather than keep the hands on the lower back, as you start to go backward and dip into the back bend, you might like to take your hands back to your heels or your ankles and then keep pressing your hips forward to the front of your mat. Whenever you've had enough, you can release up and out of that and perhaps just sit back in Caesar pose. Try not to do a back bend, then a forward fold, and a back bend and a forward fold. We want to stick with a straight back and bend it one way. We'll take care of the rest later. So I'm going to continue with some more advanced options. Those of you that do camel drop backs, that's exactly where we're going now. If you don't do a camel drop back, don't go. Those of you going, whenever you're ready, go. Otherwise, stick with camel or bridge pose, totally up to you. Those of you that are with me, we're not going to come back to knees today. We're going to gently lay down on our backs and we're going to take our final 2 back bends from the back of our body. So again, this is up to you. If you want to do something totally different to what I'm offering, then you do whatever feels right in your body. Otherwise, you can stay with me here. Maybe lift to bridge first. Then set your hands and exhale, lift yourself up into wheel pose. Perhaps you're an advanced practitioner and you'd like to take some variations. That's entirely up to you. Wherever you feel like going. Maybe you've got another breath to hold your back bend. Whenever you're ready, you can come down to the ground. I'm going to let you do the last one on your own. Whenever you're ready, you can lift to your final back bend. I'll let you know when we're moving. Maybe you've got one more breath here. Whenever you're ready, lightly lower the top of your shoulders down and then roll down through your spine. We're going to head towards Supta Baddha Konasana, or recline cobbler's pose. You might like to bring your hands beside your hips, or one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And go back to your breath. Walk the valley of your breath. Deepen the inhale and lengthen the exhale. You might take one deeper sip of air, fill up your front, back and side ribs, and then exhale and empty them. You can use your hands to draw your knees into your chest before we go for a twist. If you have a different twist you like, you can go there. Otherwise, join me in supine twist. Your right knee comes to your chest, and then your left hand guides your right knee across body for the twist, while your right arm releases to the earth at shoulder height. Keep the back of both of your shoulders down and then allow the twist to happen with the knee, but go slowly so you work with the exhale to twist deeper. Exhale to twist deeper. When you're ready, you can release this side, maybe realign your hips. Get your lower back settled into your mat, and when you're ready, squeeze your left knee in. Release your left arm out at shoulder height, keeping the back of your left shoulder down. Gently guide the left knee over your body for the cross-body stretch. It's the exhalation that will carry you deeper. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly release. You might want to cross your ankles, hold them, and then rock up to seated. You can step or float back. Chaturanga Dandasana. We continue. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, pull back, downward facing dog. We're going to have a little bit of fun now, and maybe you can jump to crow pose, Bakasana. If it doesn't happen, just play around. Step up and then have a go. If you're with me, try a couple of little toe taps. Toes tap to the wrists, maybe 1 or 2 times, and then together we'll lightly land back in Malasana. We made it. So, up to you from here. A little bit more fire stuff. You can stay Malasana, you can play with crow, or you can come with me for Bujapidasana, where you take your shoulders underneath your knees into a forward fold and place your hands back behind you, and then lightly sit back and lift your feet, cross your ankles. You can hang here, or if you practice, you can lift your legs, straighten them out into Tadibhasana. And then if you're with me, the transition, bend the knees, flick back to crow, and then step or lightly jump back. Lift your heart to up dog. Exhale to down. Depending wherever you stay, don't worry, just meet us back in downward facing dog. We're having a little play into the hips now. As you breathe in, step your right foot wide of your right hand, and then you're going to spin out to the right, toes and ankles on the side. Inhale, sweep your right arm up, lift the hips. Take it slow, and as you exhale, you're going to start to windmill through the legs. Notice how slow you're going, just to find each part of your hip, your inner thigh, and then spin all the way around to the other side. So we get the other IT band, up and over. And again, you're going to continue back around in that windmill or circle-like motion back to the front of your mat. Hands down, step back. Downward facing dog as you breathe all the way out. Bend your knees, look forward, float to your bottom lightly. Jump and sit down. Maybe it wasn't so light for you. It's okay. Janu Shishasana, left foot to the right inner thigh, and whenever you're ready, we turn this into the forward fold that it is. Now engage the top of the leg, the quadricep, and if you can't reach your foot, don't worry. You can use a strap or a towel. The most important thing is that your spine is straight. Now you can stay, or you might want to come with me. I just like to do this option as it stretches out the side back part of my body. Hand over the outside edge of the foot and a little gentle twist. Maybe the right hand goes back behind you. And then we're going to swap and go over to the other side for the twist. Maybe you've got the big toe, or you've got a strap or a towel. Inhale the opposite arm up, and then exhale, sink into the side of your body. Wherever you get to's fine. To release, turn this into a forward fold and then roll up to seated. Now we're going to continue, so stay with me. Now you might use your strap or a towel here again. Bend your right knee in. Either interlock your hands around your foot or get your strap and use your strap in both hands around the foot. Make sure you're using both hands at the moment. Sit up nice and tall. Allow an inhale to extend the heel of your foot forward. Pull your shoulders back and down, and think your heart is lifting to your big toe. Now you can stay here or move the strap into your left hand only, both sides, or take the left hand around the outside edge, the pinky toe edge of the right foot. Right hand behind you, supporting your back, and then you can twist into the IT stretch. So down the outside of the legs where you're aiming for at the moment. Your spine remains straight. Your seat is solid, you're grounded. On your next inhale, come back to the middle. Allow your leg to come down and then rotate your leg all the way to the back of your mat for pigeon pose, Ekapada Raja Kapuntasana. You can always use a block underneath your front hip, which should be your left hip at the moment because we're doing this fun little circle thing with our legs. Once you're here, see if you can surrender down. So you're letting your torso drape over your front leg and just finding a few sips of air. You might start to bring your hands up and underneath your shoulders. And then very slowly on a breath in, sit yourself up. And again, the back leg draws around to the front. But this time, circle the back leg around and see if you can cross it over the top leg for Dvipadi or double. You might not be able to get this. You might need to cross your knees more, or you might be able to have the legs in a more square position. This is a little bit juicier, a bit deeper for your hips right now. Take a nice deep sip of air, fill your lungs. And then as you're exhaling, come up, release your legs. Maybe a little wiggle or wobble out of your knees, and then we move to the opposite side. Janu Shashasana, right foot to the left inner thigh. And then when you're ready, you can find your forward fold. Remember, you might have used a strap or a towel for some of our seated stuff, so you can use that again here. You're aiming to have a straight back, so you'll notice that you might even get to a spot and stop, and you can stay there. If you want to go for that fun little side or extra side stretch that we did on the last side, if you're hanging out with me, then you can go there. That little cross twist, right hand around the outside of the left ankle. And then as you're ready, you can turn this twist to the other side of the body. So maybe strap into left hand or interlock your big toe with your peace fingers and thumb. And then you can take your right arm up and over to twist. We turn this back into a forward fold before we walk our hands in to sit up. And we're sticking with the outer edge of the leg. Pull the left foot in, interlock your fingers underneath the ball of the foot, or use your strap or your towel again. Straight back, sit up, and then extend your heel forward. So before you go anywhere, really lift your torso up out of the soil of your hips. Lift your heart to your big toe. And then either strap into right hand only or take the right hand around the pinky toe edge of the left foot. Left hand behind you to support the back of your body and twist. Couple of breaths. Exactly the same as the last side. As you lightly release, you draw the left leg around to the back of your mat and settle into your right hip for pigeon pose. If you use or if you need to use a cushion on this side might be different. You might need to really block out or stack out your right hip. So you're staying away from any knee pain and we're just staying within the hip joint itself. Maybe you can even find a little bit of relaxation. Notice your teeth in the back of your mouth. These hip ones are always a good one where we start to clench our teeth. See if you can relax your teeth for 2 more breaths. Once you're ready, you'll bring your hands under your shoulders to lift your body back up through seated, and then your back leg draws around to the front of your mat so that you can head either into Gomukhasana, maybe knees crossed, or you can hang out here in square pose or double pigeon. And just bow down, surrender into your seat. Let go of any effort that you've kept through your practice. And soften your forehead down. Whenever you're ready, we're going to slowly come up to seated and transition into Baddha Konasana, soles of our feet together, knees out wide. Transition to the inner part of the thigh or the inner leg. You might want to just stay seated upright here and perhaps interlock your fingers and breathe. Or you are welcome to turn this into a forward fold depending on how great you feel this in a forward fold, or maybe this is something that you find you feel a lot when you're in seated. Remember that all our bodies are different, which is why I like to give you these options so you can pick and choose what fits your body on the day. Slowly, if you're in the forward fold, come back up to seated. Now, everyone interlock your big toes, sit up straight, and see if you can start to extend your legs out to the side for Upavista Konasana A. If you want a little bit more, you can release your toes and pause here for 2 more breaths. Otherwise, keep a hold of your big toes and just breathe there. When you're ready, cross your ankles, hands to your mat again, step or float back through the vinyasa. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, we pull back to downward facing dog. It's totally up to you now as a practitioner on where you want to land, but it's inversion time. So you might like to practice anything that's in your regular practice. Maybe it's headstand, shoulder stand. Maybe you're already up to handstands and forearm balances. So this is entirely up to you on where you want to go for inversion practice. I'm going to hang out in frog pose. So I'm going to hang out in my inner thighs. But inversion wise for you, anything that you want to do, it's a little bit late in my afternoon to be hanging out upside down. But for you, you can do whatever it is you choose. Now, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to play around with your variation of wherever you are. And then I'm going to let you know when you can come out of this, or when at least you might like to release into relaxation. At any time you're done with your inversion practice, you might want to come down and hang out with me in frog pose and just surrender the front of your body down to the earth. But enjoy your practice. You've got a couple of minutes to do whatever sits with you for inversions. I'll let you know when it is time to come back. Start to feel your breath again here. Evening out your inhale and your exhale. You might surrender a little deeper on your next out breath wherever you are. And then ever so slowly draw your arms underneath you or gently release down from the space that you've held. Maybe your inversion space. If there's anything that you need here at practice that I haven't offered, you're welcome to take it. Otherwise, you can join me and start to settle in for relaxation. The finishing or final touches to your practice. Do settle in, make sure every part of you is completely comfortable, is relaxed. You might open your mouth and you might move your jaw around right to left, left to right. You might even move your tongue around your teeth, lick your lips, swallow. And then go and press the pause button. I'll let you know when it's time to come out of your relaxation. Enjoy. Notice where your breath is. Maybe even feel your clothing resting on your skin. Take a deep sip of air in through your nose, and then open your mouth and breathe out. Maybe you'll move your fingers and your toes. And then whenever you're ready, you can roll over to your favorite side, right or left. Take your time to come up and join me in a comfortable seated position. You might sit on your knees or you might take a butt seat, depends on you. And your hands might come to prayer at your heart center as you stack each vertebra on top of the next. Raising your thumbs to your Ajna chakra, Om Mani Padme Hum. To your lips, Om Mani Padme Hum. And to your heart, Om Mani Padme Hum. Namaste, yogis.